Welcome to the Green Data Ventures Cookbooks, the video series where we share recipes for success. This video will explain how to add roles and generic resources to Microsoft's project operations. Doing this will allow you to assign generic resources to project teams and tasks, as well as assign roles to bookable resources. Using these generic resources on estimation projects elevates how your organization does resource planning. So today we're going to start out in the resources area of project operations under roles to create our brand new role. So we're going to hit this green plus and add a new bookable resource category or role. Let's create an operations lead. And as you'll see, there are only two things that are required here. However, you can add a description to explain more about what this role is, a target utilization for use in resource planning, and billing type. I'm going to go through these a bit more because this is a really important aspect of a role. There are 4 different options: non-chargeable, chargeable, complementary, and not available, and this determines how quoting works and what gets pulled in automatically. So if there's a chargeable role, for example, like what this is, it will get added to a quote versus a non-chargeable role. Great, so let's save this. And then let's add a skill. So we can search for skills that are already in the system, such as data visualization. And then the different rating levels are proficient, good, familiar. So for this one, let's set it as proficient and save and close. Great. Now we can save and close this whole thing to then go on to create our new generic resource. Over here in resources, if you click new, we can build our new generic resource. So the first thing you need to do is change the resource type from user to generic. There's also lots of different options such as contact, equipment, etc. However, today we're going to be creating a generic resource. As you see, this removes the user field. Our name is going to be operations lead generic, and we'll save this. Next, we'll go into project service, and we can add a resource scale here as well, but we're going to want to add the role that we just created. So let's add a new bookable resource category, and we can search for the one that we just created, operations lead. This is default. If this equals yes, this determines the default role on a project for this resource. So we're going to select yes. Then we can also go into scheduling and determine if we want to display this generic resource on the schedule board and much more, such as locations. Because this is a generic resource, I don't really mind most of these elements. Let's go to work hours. So as you can see, there's something a bit odd about this. So if you ever see a work hour that is not quite right, we can click on this and edit. And if we want to change everything, we can edit all events in the series. Great. So as you can see, this is at GMT, Coordinated Universal Time, but our resource is actually at Pacific Time. So let's change this to be Pacific Time. Great. Now you can see that we're going from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and that's what I want. So let's save and close this whole thing. And now you see our new operations lead generic as a generic resource type in your active bookable resources. This has been an overview of how to create roles and generic resources for use in project estimation and resource planning.